Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Hell's Gate. Today, I'd like to talk about the upgrading of T12 troops. And before I get into that, I kind of need to go through a little bit of a history lesson on them, but also I just want to highlight a what I think is a new feature about them. I just noticed it a few weeks ago about the ability to do some additional upgrades on them, and I had never spotted it before, and I don't remember reading anything about it. So either I've been blind for a long time, or it's something new that just got added in there, and I really didn't quite notice it. But that's why I'm making these videos, is that trying to highlight certain small features of the game that can actually end up being a big difference in the overall gameplay. So, so back to the T12s and the history lesson about them. We actually have to start back to the T11s, and the T11s came out probably over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago at least, and they were like the next best troop above a T10, but it was still under the Supreme Legion, which are now the T13s that are out there. And you'd be able to unlock them by accessing right here in the middle your civilization temple. So in the civilization temple, you go to your ancestral spirit, and under your ancestral spirit, you've got your four civilizations here, where you could also access your four types of troops: your infantry, cavalry, archers, and siege engines. So I'm going to bump over to Huixa, and here's the three areas that you can do upgrades. The far right one here's stuff about offensive and defensive damage. The middle top one here, this is about defense, health points, attack, and as well as damage. But the one on the left, this is what actually helped unlock the troops. So one of the first things that came out was this top one here, and this was the ability to unlock your T11s. It was by accessing this feature. And then shortly after this, they made the T12s available. But in order to get the T12s, those who have done this remember the painful process of trying to collect all these civilian crystals and having to upgrade all these four categories in here. This category as well. And then also grit. And then in addition, there'd be some other requirements in the troop buffs in terms of defense, health, and attack, and getting up to a certain offensive damage, and then that would unlock here your T12 unit. And maybe some of you guys are still working on some or all of your T12s, but it's a long process, and I don't recall how many civilization stones you need to get it, but it was at least a million and a half, something like that. So good luck, and be patient in collecting all those. But after you have all that, initially that's all you had. You had the troop, and the only thing you can do to help enhance these troops was going into the prayer hall enhancements and upgrade them that way. They weren't like the Supreme Legion, the T13s, where you had the ability to further enhance them in the Sage Tower. It just wasn't available. So, and then what's happened since, they then added enhancements for T11s. Now the T11s are almost as powerful as your T12s and even your T13s in certain situations. And so then I noticed recently, in the last 2 weeks, month max, somewhere in that area, depending on how oblivious I am to reality, they added two additional items in here under the initial item to unlock the unit. Now they have here a category of increase the damage of the Phoenix Wings skills, and I fully upgraded this, so I got 5%. You click on the listing, you have the ability to upgrade it 1% at a time up to a maximum 5% for this level. And then down here, Blessing 2 for Phoenix Wings. Now you have the ability to upgrade an additional 10% for the damage of the Phoenix Wing skills. So now all of a sudden you can research damage on your additional damage for your T12s. And this has actually been pretty powerful. I've started upgrading many of these already. I don't have any of these fully upgraded that I know of, but I've definitely noticed a difference in the performance of my T12s. T12s were starting to become obsolete because the T11s were starting to surpass them based on just a little bit of enhancement in the prayer hall. So definitely check these out. Initially it's pretty cheap to research them, but as you get in the upper levels, it takes more and more civilian crystals. And here, if I wanted to upgrade this unit, I would have to spend 176,000 in order to upgrade it from level 7 to level 8. So keep that in mind. Look it up in your own game and see where you're at with each of the units. But having additional buffs for your troops, damage is particularly a very important one to have. It definitely improves the performance. Just in my context, with my siege engines, my T13 was enhanced in the prayer hall at level 30, and my T12 siege engine was enhanced on the order of 25, and they were actually performing rather comparable to each other. But now that I started enhancing in these civilization temple, my T12's damage for my siege engines, I've now noticed a significant output in their ability to get kills. So with that, I conclude this session. This is all about upgrading your T12s outside of the prayer hall enhancement, but actually in your civilization temple, and it's the upgrading the damage of them, which is, aside from health, it's one of the most important attributes for your troops. So have a good night. Thank you very much. Any questions, please leave me a comment. Otherwise, please subscribe and give me ideas of any other topics you'd like me to cover. And I appreciate very much your time. Thank you.